Hey guys, it's Jordan, and I know I'm not in my normal filming spot, but I just decided to film over here just because there's a bunch of clothes on top of my beanbag and I don't feel like putting them up right now. But yeah, so today, continuing on with my back to school series, I will be making a duct tape backpack because I have not done a duct tape tutorial in I don't know how long, but I just thought this was overdue. Here is the backpack, and it took me about 3 hours to make, like, all together, and I used about 4 duct tape rolls on it, and it holds so much. As you can see, it has like little Velcro here, and it has this huge like opening thing right here. Also this little mini pouch right here that has little Velcro. And yes, this backpack is huge, but please feel free to do your own proportions, and you do not have to make it this big. And yeah, it's super cute. I tried my best to keep it as simple as possible for you guys, so anyone can really do it. And yeah, as long as you have time on your hands, you're good to go. And I'll just get into the video. Okay, so I'm starting by taking about 16-inch strips and laying them down sticky side up, and I'm making sure that they overlap just kind of slightly so that they stick together, and I'm trying to make them as like straight as I can without any wrinkles, obviously. And it's totally fine if the edges don't completely match up because you will be able to fix that later. And I ended up doing about 17 strips. Then I basically did the same thing, adding the strip sticky side down this time and trying to avoid as many wrinkles as possible. This part will make up the front and sides of your backpack, so I decided to choose some fun colors for this part, even though I did later change the green part to pink since I thought it looked a little bit better. Okay, so next I'm folding it in half and trimming off the edges of one side of the duct tape. Then I'm setting that aside and starting by making about 35-inch strips and laying them down so that they slightly overlap. And as you can see, I had to start using some black duct tape since I was running low on the white. And I ended up making about 8 strips. Then you can just trim one side of the duct tape, and pulling out that piece that we set aside earlier, I'm just going to be carefully laying that on top, making sure that it's lined up and in the middle. Then I'm laying about 4 pieces of duct tape horizontally and filling up the rest of the space by laying them vertically. This part will make up the bottom and the back of the backpack. Then you can go ahead and add one more horizontal strip to hide the uneven edges. Now you can trim off any uneven edges that stick out. Then you can take the 2 flaps and fold them in. And you're going to want to make sure that they're even, and if they're not, then you can trim off any extra parts that you need to. And then I'm folding in the 2 flaps halfway outwards so that they meet the edge, and folding the other part all the way around so that it makes a flap in the front. And this will become the basis of your backpack. Now you can trim off the flap part any way you want to. And definitely feel free to pause this video if I'm going too fast for you. I just don't want this video ending up to be like an hour long. So, moving on, I'm just going to be adding some different colors of duct tape to different parts of the backpack just to make the contrast better and to make some parts look neater. And then I'm going to take a strip of a patterned duct tape and folding it over the raw edge to clean it up a little bit. Now here comes the tricky part. I'm going to be using a small piece of duct tape and sticking it to the bottom part of the flap so that the sticky side is on the outside. Then I'm kind of folding it inwards and lining up the edge of the flap with the edge of the long rectangle part. Then the strip should kind of naturally stick the 2 sides together, forming a corner type thing. Then you can trim the duct tape piece and repeat the same exact thing for the other side. Then you're basically doing the same thing for the 2 vertical sides of the backpack. You can see your backpack coming together. On all the corners that we just stuck together, I'm going to be taking half a strip of duct tape and sticking it directly over those creases to make them more durable. Then continuing with that same duct tape, I'm going to be taking those pieces to fold over the edges for the flat part. Okay, so now I'm setting that aside and moving on to sticking some strips together, sticky side up again. I ended up adding way too many strips this time in the middle, and I had to make it smaller later, so I definitely recommend to use at least 2 less middle strips than I did. And as you can see, the middle strips I used were a few inches longer than the 2 side strips on each side. Once the tape is laying flat, you can add the second layer of tape sticky side down this time. And then I'm trimming the edges of the tape so that it's even. And next I'm doing what we already did earlier on the other parts of the backpack to make the corner creases. And I'm also trimming anything that's uneven and adding half a strip of tape to the outside of the corner creases. You can also add a little decoration if you would like to. Now I'm doing the same crease connection as we did before on the 3 sides of this pocket. And I think it's easiest to start with the bottom side and then move on to sticking on the sides. Then I'm using half a piece of duct tape to seal the edges together, and I'm also taking another piece to fold over the top edge. Now I'm overlapping 3 shorter pieces of duct tape sticky side up and sticking 3 more on top of them sticky side down. Then I'm trimming it to the shape I want it to be and sticking a piece of duct tape underneath it to secure it to the backpack. Then I added a little decorations and then secured it with another strip on top of the crease. The next part is optional, but I just wrote out a design on the flap and then painted nail polish over it. And then for the straps, I'm using felt, but if you don't have felt, you could use any other thick material that you may have. And I'm just cutting them out into long, about 2.5-inch strips. And however long you want the strips to be is just your personal preference. And mine was pretty long, so I had to tape the 2 felt strips together. Then I'm adding a strip of duct tape in the middle of the felt. This will also help to notice if your felt is cut unevenly. And then I just added a duct tape strip on each side of the felt with half of it sticking off of the edge so that it could be folded over. And if your felt isn't perfectly straight, it's okay to fold over part of the felt along with the duct tape. Then on the other side of the felt strip, I completed it with a strip of duct tape straight down the middle. For the handle, I just cut off a small piece from the straps and basically just rolled it up and then added a piece of duct tape to secure it. Then I started taping it to the back of my backpack, and there is not really a specific way to do this, just the most important part is to have lots of smaller strips of duct tape going in different directions. Then I did the same thing with taping on the straps and made sure to have the end of the straps pointing downwards. And if you want a little bit extra security, you can even add a few staples. When taping the bottom of the straps, make sure that the end is pointing upwards but continues taping the same way. Then after that, all you have to do is add the Velcro to the top flap and the little pocket flap, and then you can add any other finishing touches that you might want to do. I added a little bit more nail polish on the design part, and I added a few sparkles too, and then your backpack is completed and you're ready to wear it for the first day of school, and you will rock it. Okay, so I hope you guys liked that tutorial and the backpack, and I hope you guys try it out. And if you do, make sure to send me pictures on the Instagram and Twitter, and I'll make sure to like and maybe comment on them. So if you guys did like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more weekly DIY videos, and I will see you guys all later. Bye! Hey guys, I post a new DIY video every Tuesday, so don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow me on all my social media. And if you want to see my latest video, then click this green box. Hope to see you soon!